Nova Labs just announced a partnership with one of the world's leading telecommunication service providers to launch Helium Mobile hotspots in Mexico. This partnership is the first of its kind outside of the US and allows Telefonica customers to seamlessly connect using their existing SIM cards. Although the Mexico coverage provided by Helium Mobile hotspots will not be available to Helium Mobile subscribers, it is clear that Telefonica is open to exploring new, lower-cost crypto-powered solutions for coverage expansion. This collaboration sets a precedent for global deployment and future partnerships with mobile network operators. There are also some notable differences between this partnership and the one that Nova Labs has with T-Mobile. Let's take a look. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the Crypto Compound channel. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you guys are having a great day. Please hit that like and subscribe on the way in. Today's video, we're talking about a major announcement here from Nova Labs, the partnership with Telefonica in Mexico, launching Helium Mobile hotspots in Mexico. This is an absolutely massive partnership and a huge step forward for Helium Mobile to exit the US and start broadening their horizons, not only in North America, but hopefully this will set a precedent for global expansion of Helium Mobile. Being that Telefonica is in fact based in Spain, there is a very good chance that if this so-called pilot program, if you will, or test run of Helium Mobile in Mexico goes well, we could certainly see global expansion moving forward throughout the year. Now, we are going to touch on all of the big details with regards to this partnership, and we're also going to make sure to touch on a lot of the key differences between this partnership and the partnership that Nova Labs has with T-Mobile here in the US. There are some big differences that change the tokenomics and the service delivery of this particular partnership and contract with Telefonica, but nonetheless, it is a huge step forward for Helium Mobile, and we can see that it is being reflected here in the price. Before we get into all the details, I do want to touch on the price, as we have had some very interesting price action, not only here with Helium, but also in the broader markets with Solana and Bitcoin. Of course, there is the negative sentiment surrounding Bitcoin right now with regards to Grayscale offloading thousands and thousands of Bitcoin. However, that is to be expected. That is just market mechanics. Nothing is fundamentally changed in terms of Bitcoin being the digital gold that we know it is. So no worries there. However, if we look at this Helium chart, it is extraordinarily more positive than a lot of other charts out there. For example, if we take a look here at Solana, there is some serious structural breakdowns here. We were not able to hold this local low here, and we obviously have come down and retested this key inflection zone here on Solana, and that is the same with a number of other charts throughout the crypto markets. However, looking at the Helium chart here, we can see that we have maintained higher lows throughout all of the turbulence that we have been experiencing recently, actually touching and wicking down to this key inflection point here, which we have had drawn on the chart for quite some time. We wick down, and it looks like that is going to be a turning point here for the price level on Helium. I'm now going to mark that so we have that here. I think this looks like it will hold there, and that is 3 consecutive higher lows on the Helium chart. Very, very good news. Of course, this doesn't mean that we're never going back down. However, it is a good indication that there is some serious buyers at play here, and they are defending these levels, and they are forming higher lows, which is very, very good. So as far as the Helium chart is concerned, it is still very much intact and very positive looking moving forward throughout the end of this month, and of course into the coming months and all of 2024. If we look here at the weekly chart quickly, we can see I did do some a little bit of quick measurements here just to put this dip into context. First, we'll look here. We can see that on the weekly, we still have one giant higher low here on the chart. This is really the first higher low after this massive accumulation zone here. But this is the weekly chart. This is very good. We didn't even come close to retesting the lows, either the candle closes or the wick lows of this higher low here. So that is very good. And from the top of this wick to the bottom of this wick was a 50% drawdown here on the weekly chart. And if we compare that to the drawdowns we saw on the way up to all-time highs last cycle, we can see we had a minus 60% drawdown from this wick high down to this wick low here was 60%, and this one over here from this wick high to the wick low there was 39 or 38%. So this minus 50% is nothing extraordinary. If you guys have been here for a while, you know that these things happen in crypto markets. There were a lot of people accumulating down here that took profits up here. Really, really normal stuff. And from what it looks like, it seems like they are started to accumulate again after this pullback or this 50% drawdown that we just experienced. Now, time will tell. Anything can happen in crypto, as we all know. But right now, this is looking very positive moving forward. Of course, this news comes at a great time when we were just wicking at this key inflection support line now. And we have moved and wicked all the way up to $7 a few minutes ago. So this is very good. And as we can see on my DEPIN watch list here on the right side of the screen, we can see Helium is currently the highest performing DEPIN on this watch list, even ahead of mobile, about 5% ahead of mobile right now over the past 24 hours. Now, if we take a look here at coinmarketcap.com, we can see that Helium is the second best performing asset in the top 100 coins over the past 24 hours, up 16% here at rank number 57, which is a few slots ahead of where we last saw it. It was pinging between 60 and 65 for about a week or two, and we have now broken the 60 threshold and are at number 57 right now. Let me refresh to see if we are still there. We are at 58 now, up 16% over the last 24 hours. Really good performance from Helium, outperformance over the last 24 hours now, which is really great to see. And it's no surprise considering the news that we just had. Now, if you guys are wondering what I've been doing, I did buy a bunch more HNT below $6, and I actually had a DCA set up in Jupiter that ran overnight, and it did close. It was only 10 SOL, but I wanted to come over here to Jupiter and use the DCA function because supposedly it will make you eligible for a larger percentage of the airdrops if you use more features in Jupiter moving forward. So I used this DCA feature for 10 SOL over 10 hours, buying 1 SOL every hour, and that worked overnight, which happened to correspond really well considering the news we just had. But yes, I am certainly buying at these levels. We've already seen that Helium has outperformed once we started to enter a bull market here. If you guys remember, when we were down here, Helium was as low as 200 rank by market cap, and now we are approaching the top 50 coins. There has been serious outperformance, which is a very, very good indication of outperformance in the future. But guys, if we look here, Helium Mobile posted this on X this morning. Nova Labs is working with Telefonica to launch Helium Mobile hotspots in Mexico. This will allow Telefonica customers to connect to the Helium Mobile network seamlessly using their Movistar SIM cards, reducing infrastructure costs while expanding coverage.
Incredible.
So this partnership, this contract with or between Nova Labs and Telefonica is really, really positive. It is also really different than the T-Mobile. We'll touch on those differences now as we go through this blog here. But first, let's take a quick look here. This is the Telefonica. This is the company that is contracted with Nova Labs now. We can see they're about a $24 billion market cap organization. They do have subsidiaries across the globe, Telefonica Brazil, Telefonica Deutschland. They are a massive, massive world leader in telecommunications. This is a huge partnership and is opening the door now for global expansion of Helium Mobile. So now if we go, they do have two big highlights here. Telefonica customer coverage extended in Mexico City and Osaka by offloading mobile data to the Helium Mobile network. Now this launch is in just these two cities right now. However, Mexico City is the largest city in Mexico and has over 8 million people in Mexico City. So massive, massive potential for data, for new data offloading and burning of HNT and data transfers and all of these things in Mexico City. Osaka is much smaller. Nonetheless, it is a pilot program here, or at least no one references this as a pilot program, but I sort of am viewing it as a pilot program for Telefonica and Nova Labs. And we can see here, Telefonica and Nova Labs pioneering solution enables Telefonica customers to connect to the Helium Mobile network in a secure and controlled manner using their existing SIM. So that is one of the big differences right off the bat between this and T-Mobile. In this case, they are able to use their existing SIM. They don't have to SIM swap or get a new SIM in order to onboard onto Helium Mobile. There are a few other differences we'll touch on as this blog touches on them. So as we can see here, they explain that Telefonica customers are able to offload their mobile data to the Helium Mobile network and in turn improve overall mobile coverage for service of its customers. So these Helium Mobile hotspots that are deployed in Mexico City and Osaka are going to be able to extend the coverage for Telefonica's customers at a fraction of the cost that it would otherwise cost Telefonica. Now, there are going to be boosted hexes in these two cities, which is going to really amplify and help speed up the process of extending Telefonica's coverage in these areas. And in turn, Telefonica's customers are going to be able to get more coverage with their existing SIM. Now, they go a little bit into the technicals. They're using the Open Wi-Fi standard developed by the Telecom Infra Project, or TIP. Now, there are some technical stuff that they get into here that you guys, I'll link this in the description below and you guys can come read through this, take a look if you would like, but I'm not going to touch on the super technical stuff. Now, they highlight on basically what is the main driver here for these large telecommunication customers or companies to actually partner with Helium Mobile, and that is a significant decrease in the costs and very low capex and operational costs to deploy new coverage. Traditionally, these telecommunications companies would have to deploy massive resources, millions of dollars to launch a tower, to get a tower all the way up in the air and deploy their own very high-powered and expensive radios in places with little coverage. However, now they're able to leverage the Helium flywheel model and have people go out and deploy coverage themselves using less expensive hardware and costing Telefonica virtually $0 and provide coverage in very specific and small areas that adds a tremendous amount of value to the service that Telefonica is able to provide. As we can see, they say it enables a community of individuals and small business owners to deploy Helium Mobile hotspots and enable Telefonica to accelerate coverage growth while continuing to provide a quality service to its customers. They elaborate and say this people-powered solution increases mobile data coverage and is based on a transparent and immutable economic system managed by the Helium Network's blockchain-based technology. And we can see there's a quote here from the Chief Wholesale and Public Affairs Officer at Telefonica. They are clearly very open to innovation and experimenting with new technologies. Of course, saves them a tremendous amount of money and increases the value of their service. So it's good to see that they are open to this, and I am very confident that this will really impact their service and their customers positively and will in turn lead to more partnerships globally for Helium Mobile. Now, you can actually see down here in the frequently asked questions section, which is very helpful. They do say that this program in Mexico is critical to evaluate performance and customer satisfaction of this solution and its associated costs. Our expectation, if successful, is to incorporate this into our portfolio of mobile networks in the different countries of the region. So they are evaluating the performance of this rollout in these two cities off the bat and will roll it out to more locations if successful. This is hugely important and will massively increase the amount of data that is transferred and used on the Helium Mobile network if rolled out past Mexico City and Osaka. But this is really great. Nonetheless, this is extraordinarily positive news here for Helium Mobile. Now, a few big differences between this and Helium and the T-Mobile partnership. Movistar subscribers are not eligible to earn mobile tokens for mapping. This is because it is not the same type of partnership with T-Mobile. In fact, there is actually no Helium Mobile specific service being provided in these two cities. So what is happening here is Helium Mobile is providing extra service coverage to Telefonica, but Telefonica is not going to be having their customers be able to roam onto Helium Mobile at this point in time. That is one of the major differences here. If you are a Helium Mobile subscriber, you will not get any coverage in these two cities at this time. We are not that far in the process here. Right now, it is just adding coverage to Telefonica's existing service. And of course, the mobile hotspot deployers will be earning rewards in mobile for this coverage. So that is staying the same. And obviously that is how the flywheel works. And that is why this whole system works. But those are a few very important differences between this partnership and the T-Mobile partnership. And as we can see here, it says, is Telefonica now a service provider? And it says not yet. During this phase of the rollout, Telefonica has contracted with Nova Labs to authenticate connections to Helium Mobile hotspots deployed in Mexico and pay the blockchain for traffic on Telefonica's behalf. So they are going to be paying the blockchain directly for this data that will be offloaded to the Helium Mobile hotspots. Absolutely incredible partnership here to set a precedent for coverage outside of the US. This is really, really positive news for Helium, hence why Helium is now up above $7 at the recording of this video. This is awesome news, and what I believe will be the beginning of a lot more rollouts in different cities and countries across the world in the coming year. Now, if we look here at the Helium Mobile dashboard, we can see we have crossed 40,000 total Helium Mobile subscribers. All of these metrics here are positive, and we can see that we had a massive, massive ramp of Helium Mobile subscribers over the past few weeks, and we are continuing to onboard more and more. And if we look down here at the network stats, we can see that there is significantly more coverage than there was a month ago. This is really good, and it is sustainable, as we can see here. Even IoT is also far greater than it was in November and December of last year. Really, really positive developments here for Helium Mobile, Helium IoT, and HNT directly. But guys, I am super, super excited about this rollout about this partnership. This chart is looking magnificent. I think that the future for Helium is going to be littered with partnerships like this, and I think we are going to see that network usage from those partnerships be reflected in the network stats. And I think that the HNT price and the subsequent network token prices are going to reflect that increase in usage, because this is one of the most obvious real world use cases of crypto and all of DEPIN and all of crypto. So guys, super excited. Let me know any questions or comments down below. We're going to continue to follow any updates with this partnership in Mexico. I'm so super excited. Let me know any questions or comments you guys have down below. But thank you for watching until the end. Thank you for being here. Please hit that like and subscribe if you have not already. But just like that, this video is over, and I will see you next time.